A very warm welcome to the Art Vlog, art lovers. I'm heading to Whitechapel Art Gallery here in East London to see the show Action, Gesture, Paint, Women Artists and Global Abstraction, 1940 to 1970. This show is really exciting for me because it's attempting, I think, to rewrite the history of post-war art, especially that very masculine, macho, male-dominated view of the abstract movement. It's going to include over 80 artists and 150 pictures, so I imagine I'm going to be in there for quite a long time, 150 paintings and works. And what's really exciting is I think most of these artists I'll have never seen before, and you might not have done either, and maybe not even be aware of, as well as some big names like Gillian Ayres, etc., Elaine de Kooning. So do come join me as we have a look and see whether this exhibition will be successful in its aim of making us think again about post-war abstract art. hope you enjoyed that little selection there of or at least some of the works that I've just shown you. It was a vast show of over 150 works. I've actually hot-footed it from east to west, so I'm in Victoria at the moment, and so have had a bit of time to reflect. I did definitely enjoy it because there were so many works of art and so many artists. Inevitably, there were some great works and some works which didn't move me or speak to me at all. But I think that's probably inevitable with a show of this size. The great thing, and my advice if you go to this exhibition, is just to wander around as I did without any preconceptions. I mean, I only knew really 4 or 5 of the 80 plus artists before going in. I'd only heard of them and sort of could picture them. And so that was really pleasurable, because in lots of ways it was an unloaded show. When you go to a big show like I've been to Donatello or Cézanne, you come with such big expectations. And it will come to whether it successfully rewrote the history of abstract art in a second. Yep, there were a couple of things I felt held the show back a little bit. One of them was the theming. Sometimes it worked really well, like being, expression, empathy, and where the works were all about sort of trauma and post-war trauma and nuclear trauma, and that worked really well. But some of the themes were just very vague, and I couldn't really feel that the art was coalescing around the themes. See if you think that if you go as well, and let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong with that. Secondly, I'd have loved some more context about interconnections between the art. The only context I've really got beyond individual artists to a wider movement was sadly with Lee Krasner and Elaine de Kooning, and it was in relation to their spouses, which actually was not the intention of this exhibition. I'd love to have known if any of these artists, for example, spoke to each other, connected with each other, worked with each other, exhibited with each other. Was there a kind of abstract movement, or were these artists operating in isolation or in a man's world? And thirdly, I do think the art, there was too much in a way. I mean, it was absolutely great to see art from all over the world, seeing women artists outside of the American, European sphere, which was brilliant. But I think it could have been done with cutting down some of the art and giving a bit more space. So using the same gallery spaces, but giving a bit more space to the artists. Some of them had really wonderful space. Others were a bit crammed in. Having said all that, I did really enjoy it, and I would give it a 7 out of 10. And the $1 million question is, did it rewrite the history of abstract art? And for me, it certainly did. By displaying such a wide range of female artists, it was clear that there's been a chapter unwritten about the development of abstract art. Just one example for you, Janet Sobel pioneered a drip technique and exhibited at Peggy Guggenheim's New York gallery, where she was seen by Jackson Pollock, who then went on, and this was in 1945, and then Pollock obviously went on to do his world famous drip technique in 1947. Sobel, whose 2 works you can see are it faded into history, whereas Jackson Pollock's works are worth tens of millions of dollars, if not more. And so it absolutely did. And there is some fantastic art here, and I'm really hoping that one thing this show does is allows us to see some of these artists in solo shows or maybe smaller group shows, so we can get to know them any more. This show is on until the 7th of May. It's £16.50 to get in, which I think is reasonable value. For you get a lot of art for your buck. Give yourself a good couple of hours to go around this show. And there are obviously loads of reductions at Whitechapel. So I enjoyed it. I think it was a really important show, and I do love these shows which try and challenge the very basis of the history of art, the canon. And if you're a lover of abstract art like I am, it's just wonderful to be in a space with so much abstract art, some of it which was amazing. Do remember to subscribe to the Art Vlog for upcoming reviews of shows across London, the South East and beyond. And most importantly of all, get out there and explore the wonderful UK art scene.